For those of you that have already watched the factoring by grouping video, these next problems may seem familiar, but we're going to take a look at how to do the same problems with a different method. The method we're going to use in this case is called guess and check. In guess and check, we're going to start by putting our parentheses up. I'm going to look at our first term. If the coefficient of our a value, our coefficient in front of our highest term is 1, it's pretty easy. We're going to start by putting a w here and a w here. The reason why is those are the two things that are going to multiply together to give us w squared. The next thing we're going to look at is the value of our c value. If it's a positive number, that's going to tell us that whatever signs we put in here are going to be the same. They may either be both negatives, they may be both positives, but it's going to tell us that because the only way we can come out with positive is by having the same sign multiplied together, we know that they're going to be the same. So you may be asking, well, which one is it? If those are the same, how do you know whether it's positive or negative? And that's when we look to our second term. Since that's a negative, we know both of these terms have to be the same, and they're going to be negatives. At this point, we're just going to figure out factors of 6, and we're going to start placing them in until we know that they add together to give us our b value. If you try 1 and 6, w minus 1, w minus 6, well, when you FOIL these out, you'd be left with negative w minus 6w, which gives you negative 7w. Not what we're looking for, so it's wrong. Let's try another set of factors. Another set of factors that work for 6 is 2 and 3. When we plug in a 2, plug in a 3. When we FOIL this out, we come back to this w squared minus 2w minus 3w plus 6. And these two terms right here, negative 2w, negative 3w, add together to give you a negative 5w, so you know you found the right set of factors. W minus 2 times W minus 3. Now, that was a long process. I would imagine a lot of you could do that in your head, but that's actually the process of what's going through your head as you're figuring it out. For the next example, we're going to start by factoring out the greatest common factor, and that's 3x. We pull 3x out, we're left with 2x squared minus minus x minus 1. Once again, we're going to set up our x's. So this is going to become 3x times, we're going to keep our big brackets here, x. Now, in this case, we know one of these expressions is going to have a 2. We just don't know which one yet. So we're going to start by kind of figuring out whether it's going to be what our signs are going to be in between these two. Because this is a minus, that tells you that the signs are going to be different. The only way we can have a negative is when one's positive, one's negative. So I'm going to put a plus here and a minus here. There's only two things there's only two whole numbers that can multiply together to give you 1, so I'm going to stick a 1 in for both of these right now. So then the question is, where's the 2? Which green spot is the 2 going to go in? It's going to go in the first one and going to go in the second one. You can play around with these. You try one, guess the other. In this case, we'll just start with the 2 here. 2x times x gives us that 2x squared. So if we were to FOIL this back out, 2x squared, our outside terms would give us negative 2x. Our inside terms would give us plus x, and our last terms would give us negative 1. Hey, in this case, on our first guess, it worked out. When you combine like terms, you have to put negative x minus 1. That's what we started with. That's what we're looking for. So we know our final expression can be 3x times 2x plus 1 times x minus 1. Factoring by guess and check is a really quick way. Once you get a good feel for it, a lot of you maybe will jump right to the final answer. That's good and that's great for simple problems, but as they get more and more complicated, you may have to spend more time figuring out which sets of factors go into where.